can pull that list up if you're ready for that.
Yeah, let's do it.
So I mean, then it says parameters because this may or may not be the first list we use, or partially. I think we had a little bit less on that first list, but the first list we use for a mock draft that's coming up at some point this week. Hopefully, we'll be doing at least one of those per week, so that'll be fun. Mock drafts are always fun to do, even though we don't know much about the players we're talking about. But just some things that I think could happen. Obviously, Danielle Hunter extension is kind of a big one that a lot of people like to see. I think extending JJ and TJ at this point. I mean, Justin Jefferson's 23, TJ Hawkinson's 25. So these two could be staples of your offense for the next however many years. So that'd be probably a good idea there. I think a Harrison Smith pay cut / restructure is fairly likely. Adam Thielen, maybe, just maybe he's gauging the market and seeing, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get much better. Stay here, keep the family here, maybe, but I could see him doing it. I personally think that Za'Darius, Eric Kendricks, and Delvin are all gone. Za'Darius Smith, I kind of thought maybe we try to find a way to keep him around with sticking with the 3-4, bringing in Brian Flores. But with him putting his house on the market, maybe it's a a negotiation tactic. But I guess there's reports out there too that things got kind of weird in the locker room.
Second half. Was it Darius?
Yeah.
Like so, what? I didn't actually hear about that.
I heard them talking about it on the power trip this morning. So who really knows? But
that's interesting.
Kendricks, obviously, with the cap savings you get by just straight up cutting him, and then Delvin.
Well, that's the questionable one right there.
Of opinion on Delvin here, but we'll see. I think Duke Shelley has a good chance of getting re-signed. Delvin Tomlinson, maybe. I'd like to see him come back just so you have somebody
right
at that nose tackle spot. And then Garrett Bradbury and Patrick Peterson. I know Patrick Peterson, it sounds like it's pretty much a conclusion. He's gone. Bradbury, I'm kind of not sure. A lot of people, that's another thing. I was listening to the power trip this morning. They were big on keeping Bradbury around after last season. They said he looked better in a pass-happy offense, which I think he's more cut out for a running offense. But
yeah, it depends on how much he costs, I think.
Yeah. My dad is under the impression that if you get a better center, it'll help the guards, which could very well be.
Right.
But it'll be interesting.
Yeah. What's up, Justin? Hey, man, thanks for the shout outs. Appreciate it. I know. Yeah, exactly. You brought a subscriber to us. Appreciate it. I always do. Anybody that watches this video, whether it's right now or later, go check out Purple and Gold 4 Days and go follow Justin. He makes great content. We all work on stuff together. We have what would you call it? A new media channel under SK, who was formerly the Purple Code, called Purple and Skol Media. If you look that up right on YouTube, you can go over there and subscribe as well. We'll be making content on there with a bunch of these other guys who do a fantastic job themselves. So we're really pumped about that, and there's going to be some good content coming from that. I was going to go through this list here. I know we kind of made this together, kind of a little bit more on your side of things, but I liked a lot of it. So Danielle Hunter extended. I think Danielle Hunter does get extended. I want that, especially with Za'Darius Smith probably leaving. I know we know his house went up for sale and all that kind of stuff.
Which, by the way, I saw the pictures of it. The house looks like it's worth a lot more than I think it was only like $725,000. It looked like it was much more than that.
Dude, we're the best out there. We're the best out there. You should come every single time. Minnesota Sports Talk. Extended JJ and TJ. Obviously, we gotta do that. JJ for sure. We paid a second and fourth for TJ. It's a big reason why we only have 5 picks going into this draft. So I think we should 100% extend him. Harry, I think you have to extend him. It's really weird. The Thielen thing was, the whole thing with his wife and creating that post and all that. But then now there's reports saying that Thielen, it sounds like he's like open to a pay cut and that him and the Vikings are talking about it. So it almost sounds more likely than not at this point. Eric Kendricks, we get the most money. We get the least amount of dead money on him if we get rid of him or whatever, right?
Yeah, I think it was
Delvin Cook,
cap savings.
I'm not sure where I'm at with this Delvin Cook thing. I have a hard time believing we pay him 14. Yeah, I know Casey for sure wants him out here, but I have a hard time believing we pay him $14 million. So I do think it's going to come down. I think the Vikings would want him for sure. I think it's going to come down to like, hey, we need to do a restructure. Otherwise, it's going to be a cut or restructure type thing. And right now, it seems like Delvin Cook is more likely to to
Don't
take
you forget it.
definitely top 4 podcast. Yeah, I agree. We're definitely top 4. Top 4. I'll say yeah. For sure. For sure. Duke Shelley, Delvin Tomlinson re-signed. Obviously, we need to go get Duke Shelley. The Delvin Tomlinson, right now, I think we definitely should, but there is, and we're gonna go into some more of these free agents, just go down that list that NFL.com has their rankings and just kind of dig into it just a little bit, nothing too crazy. But there's some couple guys on there in that defensive tackle list that look pretty appealing. And I think if we were able to get one of them for sure in particular, but if we were able to get a couple of those, maybe we see Delvin Tomlinson walk, and then Patrick Peterson, Garrett Bradbury. I do believe that we see them walk as well. So that's kind of like where we're at right now. That's like our predictions, I guess.
And trigger warning. Stand Kirk Cousins. No, we'll talk about that later. We don't need to talk about that right now. But anyway, see, I dangled the line in front of people, and then I pulled it away so they can't talk about it because we're gonna go on to talk about some other things. I'll let you do this.
Oh yeah. So everybody who's in here, we do a Justin Jefferson rookie card giveaway, other kind of giveaways, card giveaways. All you have to do is hashtag skol in the chat. Pretty easy. Subscribe to our channel. Go subscribe to the Minnesota Sports Talk, Purple and Gold for Days, and now Purple and Scold, 100%. What we got over here? Duke would be a good re-sign. Hope not too much money, please, please, please. No Bradbury. Yeah, man, I'm 100% with you.
I mean,
on that right now.
I'm fine with Bradbury, but at a I don't know, 6-ish million a year. But it sounds like he's kind of projected around 8.5, 9 million a year.
I love
Maybe.
2 things: GG Sports and Darth Vader. Wonder who this is. Who do we know that might have a YouTube channel named Star Wars, Marvel, and More? Who knows about us and Darth Vader?
I don't know.
But he should hashtag skol because I want to give him a card. He's yet to get a card. We got Justin a card. I think we need to get Star Wars, Marvel, and More some cards. But yeah, hashtag skol. That's all you have to do. Subscribe to the channel. Also, go and go to our social media pages, Twitter, Instagram, whatever one you like the best, and follow us there, because whoever wins this card, that's kind of how the best way we can communicate to you, to get your mailing address and all that good stuff. So yeah, pretty easy. Anyways, so that being said, we went through this. We'll kind of dive this again. This is kind of like our predictions of how we see the rest of the off season, the early off season rolling out. This is just a guess. Danielle Hunter extend JJ and TJ. Harrison Smith, Thielen, pay cut, restructure. They stay on the team. Zadarius Smith, Eric Kendricks, and Delvin Cook, we have as cuts. And then re-signing Duke Shelley, Delvin Tomlinson, and then Patrick Peterson and Garrett Bradbury walking. So after this scenario, what positions do you think is our biggest needs?
I'm still going to go ahead and put the defensive interior in there, personally. I like Delvin Tomlinson. I think he solid against the run. I remember to start the season before his injury, he was probably our best pass rusher, who wasn't Zadarius Smith at the time. But I still think that if you bring him back, kind of the same thing with Kirk Cousins, bring him back, but still don't feel bad about drafting the replacement if you have a guy you really like, which obviously there's a lot less. It's a lot less going to cost you your job if you miss on a defensive tackle. But I'm just saying, even with a veteran in the building, don't be afraid to take that the next big interior player if you so think he is available when you pick. So I'm going to go with that. Corner is always a need. I think corner is also one of those positions like quarterback where you won't go wrong taking one every year. Maybe not always your first round pick, but I don't think there's any issue with taking one every year. And then, of course, even if Thielen stays, you still need that legitimate number 2 option at receiver. So,
yeah, 100%. I agree with you. The defensive tackle thing is something that, like we've talked about it, I think it's becoming not so like an underrated position of need. because I think a lot of us are starting to talk about it. But I do think that's something that we could, man. If there was one position in free agency that we went and got figured out, I think that's the one you've got to go with. Especially if you can go into that draft feeling confident with what our defensive tackles look like.
Well, and if you keep Danielle Hunter, like,
And if you could keep
that's only going to
Hunter.
help the cornerback position.
Right. Which I think we will, for sure. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's, in my opinion, I think defensive tackle. I think in free agency, that's something that you take care of there, just because there's so much talent there. And if not, I think if you keep Delvin Tomlinson, maybe you still can go get one in the draft, but
you can still upgrade around Delvin Tomlinson.
Right.
The guy's right next to him. I mean, you got a Sezzy, but he's a young kid, late or mid round pick. You have Phillips, who's going to be like your consistent veteran presence, good run stopper, not explosive in the pass rush game or anything. So you can still upgrade next to Delvin Tomlinson. Like, you don't need to get the nose tackle. You can just get a bigger, like that 5 tech or whatever, 5 or 3 tech, whatever you want to call it. Again, I'm not. Yeah. I know some stuff, but I don't know the correct lingo when it comes to players and whatnot. But
yeah, I feel that. But no, let's dive into some of these free agents that we have on here. Let me share the screen real quick. So yeah, like I said, NFL.com. We're gonna go down this list of rankings.
Got one comment I want to just
rankings. We're gonna go down this. I know there's gonna be positions that we don't really need. I kind of just want to go down one by one for now, just because I want to just get a better idea of who's out there. Obviously, I've done a little bit looking on my own, but we've been working more on what happened this past season. We're kind of going more into the off season now. But yeah, that starts with Lamar Jackson. In general. So what we got going to emerge this year?
I hope so. I really hope so. I mean, former Gopher, you got to root for the kid. Obviously, he did show some flashes in the limited time he got playing. So let's hope so. I mean, we don't need him to be like a big time player. If he could do anything, that would be fantastic.
It'd be nice though. It'd be nice if he became a big time player. Again, guys, we are giving away a Justin Jefferson rookie card. All you got to do is hashtag skol in the chat. All we ask for is for you to like this video and subscribe to the channel. That's it. And you can have a good chance at winning this card here. We appreciate the support 100%. So anyways, back to this. So Lamar Jackson, what's your thoughts on Lamar Jackson? I just want to know, because this is an interesting player. He's won MVP. Obviously, we're not going to get him. I like Lamar Jackson a lot. I do think, like, if we were going to move on to Kirk Cousins, it's not happening for us. But if we were, I think I want a guy that's not so run first, though. I think Lamar Jackson's crazy talented and could still improve in the pass game.
I like having Kirk Cousins.
Getting closer there, Minnesota Sports Talk. Yeah, what's that? You like Kirk?
I like having Kirk Cousins more personally. But
see, I don't know. Let's go.
I'm not a big
Lamar Jackson. Let's go Lamar Jackson. I think we have to go try to get him. No, I'm just.
I mean, I think Kyler Murray is the type. I think Kyler Murray is the type of Lamar Jackson you want. Or not Kyler Murray. Sorry, Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts. Yeah, Jalen Hurts is the type of Lamar Jackson that you want. Just the guy that can run but doesn't use it as his main. Oh, I wish if we could find a way to get Roquan Smith on this team, but also he just signed an extension, so that's out.
This isn't updated? Oh, yeah, right there. Editor Smith and Ravens have agreed to a 5-year extension. Yeah, that was going to be a hard one. Mm-hmm. So
now we're getting into it. Geno.
Yeah. Geno. That's crazy, man. Just last year, who would have guessed he would be the 3rd ranked player on a top 50 free agency list?
Yeah.
It's crazy what Seattle did. It's crazy Seattle.
I don't think Seattle
killed the Broncos in that trade. Mm-hmm. And Geno Smith comes up, and now he's one of the top free agents after the Broncos, 3 first-round picks? Something like that, at least that. That's crazy. All right, so now let's get into some positions of need. And in my opinion already, I think this is the crown jewel for the Vikings this offseason for free agency is Javon Hargrave. Undervalued free agency in 2020 when he signed a 3-year, $39 million with the Eagles. Hargrave could get bigger money time back for back-to-back monster seasons, 17.5 sacks combined. I think he had like 10 this year.
The
But the
age
big
does
thing is,
scare you a little bit, though.
yeah,
30 kind of.
yeah, I mean, it depends on how long you want to pay him for, but still, I mean, this is a guy who's so as far as defensive tackles, like we think we really need a defensive tackle, but not just any defensive tackle, one that can rush the quarterback.
True. Yeah.
Obviously, 10 sacks shows a lot about him. Let me look something up real quick. So I think so he also got a 90.8 pass rush grade from PFF, which is insane. Super insane. Overall 78.2. That's nothing crazy. His run defense was 48.1, but 11 sacks is what PFF gave him. Man, if we could get 11 sacks from a defensive tackle, I think that
Oh, for
changes
sure.
so much. It's
Absolutely.
the more we go into this offseason, I feel like it's just more and more obvious how much we were missing that not internal, but interior pressure.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Which is why I've always said, I mean, I kind of said it from the get go of the offseason that was my biggest position of need there. But
Right, right.
I mean, and a couple years ago, I think the Vikings inquired about getting Orlando Brown Jr. from the Ravens when the Chiefs did. It would have been cool a few years
Obviously.
ago,
Right, right,
but at
right.
this point, we don't need him. But
Orlando Brown. Yeah. We got our tackles are set. It took us what 10 years, but we got two really good tackles that we can be proud of. Now it's just the interior offensive line. Did you mention that when we're talking about positions of need? Because that's the other one probably is
I mean,
potentially guard, but for sure center.
it kind of depends what direction they decide to go with that. I mean, I think the entire like you need to figure out the interior offensive line.
Right, right.
A blanket statement.
Yeah, yeah. What's up, Purple Pocket Podcast? What's going on, Rap? Hashtag Skol. We're gonna get you a chance to win this card here, man. Yeah, Purple Pocket Podcast. Also, anybody who's in here, anyone that watches this video, we already mentioned Purple and Days for Gold or Purple and Gold for Days, Minnesota Sports Talk. Go check out Purple Pocket Podcast. Rap, he has an amazing channel too. Great content. I believe I will be on his show on Thursday to talk about Kirk Cousins a little bit. So I mean, you know, beware of that. It depends. Just show up anyways, and then find out what we how we feel about Kirk Cousins. It'll be a lot more fun that way. Thursday. Time to be determined. To be determined. It's going to be a good show, though. I
Can
promise.
Orlando Brown play guard?
What's that?
Can Orlando Brown Jr. play guard?
I mean, let's just throw him in there and see what happens.
I
He's
would.
a big boy, though. I know that.
Yeah. I mean, obviously Tom Brady
Tom
retired.
Brady.
He's
If
out.
he come, I don't think he's coming back this time.
No, I don't think so either.
So Chauncey Garden Johnson. NFL general managers won't value an undersized slot corner safety as highly as I do here. That's interesting because if we did get a Chauncey Gardner Johnson and he was to kind of play more of a slot corner role, that's something that could work for us.
What do we got here? I didn't mind SK's idea earlier. Trading back into the first, trading back in the first into the second, and drafting Schmidt from Minnesota. Oh, for sure. I'm a huge John Michael Schmidt guy. Again, don't know. I mean, if you're talking about like trading down to accumulate more picks to get into the second round, I'm 100% in. I don't love the idea of trading back like all the way back into the second round and losing a first round pick, but yeah, if you can trade back and gain a second round pick, John Michael Schmidt is huge. I think his size is fantastic. And he's a Minnesota Golden Gopher, stay in state. And I mean, and like what big the offensive line has been the staple of Minnesota football for about as long as I can remember. And a guy like John Michael Schmidt, his size, and obviously I think he was like a one of like the 5th year seniors this last year. So
yeah,
a little older, but that's good, more experience in the offensive, and he's just big. So I would absolutely love getting John Michael Schmidt.
Yeah, I would like him if we were to trade back and get an extra pick. I don't think I want to pick him. Like if we just stay pat and we pick him with what are we this year? 23rd?
Yeah.
23rd overall pick. I don't think I want to do that. I wouldn't be mad about it, but I want to see something away from offensive line, I think. And I think we should draft a cornerback, but man, I'm sick of missing on cornerbacks in the first round specifically.
That's fair.
All right. So anyways, So James Bradbury, I don't know. That would have been a better option before the Super Bowl, I think, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit. But hey,
He has a holding issue, obviously.
yeah.
Whether you think he didn't or not, he did do it or not. But I don't know, man. I mean, there's no question that cornerback. We need some sort of veteran presence in the cornerback room. I think. Um, I don't know if there's anyone out there that you're thinking that you like as far as free agents, cornerbacks, or do you think like if we can't really find anybody to come in and that's kind of more that we can rely on more than we do with Cam Dantzler or Shelley, if we do extend Shelley or sign Shelley, which hopefully we do you think about trying to bring Patrick Peterson back?
Yeah, it all depends on what he wants. But I think after this season, I think he's going to want a little bit too much. After he kind of showed that he still can play. And honestly, he did struggle at times. But again, did our overall defense fail him? Which you could probably say yes. A little older, a little slower. But again, couldn't get the pass rush. And that's what everything playing that shell, off defense is kind of like you need to be able to get pressure on the quarterback. And we didn't do it. So again, did the defense, I mean, I think it's goes a little bit of both ways. I think the overall defense failed Peterson, but also his advanced age doesn't help either. But he showed he can still play. So I think he's going to want a little bit more money than we're willing to pay him.
Yeah. But if we went into the next season with just Dantzler, Shelley, Evans,
Right. I
Andrew
mean, for the
Booth,
most
that'd
part,
be
it's
no
one of those
worries
things,
for
like I've
me.
always said, you know what you're going to get with the other guys. These new guys is kind of a blank canvas. But if you go into the season and all those younger guys are terrible, then it goes right back to Kwesi. Like, dude, what are you doing? Like, why didn't you address this when you could have? So checks and balances, but we'll see.
Right.
Cut Delvin, sign Saquon. I'm kidding.
Yeah, cut Delvin, sign Saquon, $16 million a year. No issue, no big deal. No, we'll go through that. So this is another guy. So we're talking defensive tackles, a plug and
If
play
you want
quality
to,
starter.
because with him at 26, you're going to have to pay to get him to play, obviously.
Right. And we
And I just
need a
don't know if they're
defensive
willing to
tackle.
pay, but
Obviously,
for
we'll
sure.
have to, figure out our cap situation. But I mean, there's always we need it. So all these guys are going to cost a lot of money. Hargrave's going to cost a lot of money, man. If we can,
But I mean, Hargrave is what, almost 30? This guy's
still,
26, right in the prime of his career. He's going to cost more.
well, he's not as good though. I don't think, in my opinion, anyways. Which doesn't matter. I mean, he was only 26. You're probably right, but I still don't think he's as good as Hargrave. I'd rather have Hargrave. But I know Payne did end up having 11 sacks himself, I believe. Yeah. I mean, I would like that a lot. We need that pass rush. That's what it is. The defensive tackle pass rush. If we can get Payne or Hargrave, man, and we can go into the draft without worrying about that anymore, I think that would be huge.
Right.
Jesse Bates.
Safety, obviously, we don't really need to worry about.
Yeah, safety. No, not like that.
You kind of wonder about the knee when it comes to Odell. Obviously, the big thing was you thought people thought he was going to sign with the Cowboys and didn't. I don't know. It's an interesting thought. I mean, he'll get signed somewhere for sure, but
yeah, I'm sure he's going to ask for some decent money too.
Obviously,
So
tackle.
I don't know about that.
Did you hear? Let's get on to the next guy. We don't need a tackle. Did you hear Daniel Jones? He fired his agent. I heard a rumor. He fired his agent because he wants like $40 to $45 million a year.
Wait, what?
I mean, it was an NFL memes thing, so who knows if it's true?
Yeah.
But they're saying he's seeking like a $40 to $45 million per year contract.
Ain't getting that.
Daniel Jones. I mean,
he beat us. But
yeah,
I don't know, man. Our defense was lacking.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't know. Daniel Jones definitely had
I mean, again, and like that first sentence says, he doesn't have a ton of weapons, and his offensive line was all banged up. So who knows? But
still, I don't know. He doesn't have that it factor.
To me, he's like a mid 20 million to maybe low $30 million. Because I mean, you're going to overpay for a starting quarterback for sure.
Right.
I think he's definitely in like that mid high 20s, maybe 30, 31 a year.
See, I'm not even convinced.
But you're going to overpay for quarterback.
Yeah.
A starting quarterback, you're going to overpay all the time. And for right now, with what these other quarterbacks are getting, with a guy like him, if you think there's some potential there that he hasn't quite reached, $30 million could be a steal a couple years down the road. Just
It'll be
he played
interesting.
well this year without much there to help him.
It'll be interesting to see what Derek Carr ends up getting in free agency
That's a
as well.
big one,
I
yeah.
imagine he's obviously lower than Daniel Jones on this list, but I think he'll get paid
Right.
pretty
Just because,
good, which I think probably too much in my opinion.
yeah. But again, you overpay for quarterback,
Yeah.
which is why drafting one is
I
always
don't know, man. I don't know.
drafting
I
and
wouldn't.
keeping your own is always
Daniel
the way to
Jones
do
just
it.
has vibes sometimes where he just seems like he could be borderline backup sooner
Yeah,
than later, you know.
for sure. I mean,
He's
'cause
only
that's the thing
26
this
though, and he
year, like
does have talent, but
with how good they were this year, everyone's like they're doing this all with Daniel Jones. You know, it's kind of
So another guy, Draymond Jones, he was in the top 20 in pressures amongst defensive tackles last year, according to Pro Football Focus, and was tied for fifth this season before suffering a hip injury. Another defensive tackle. That's one good thing about this free agents class is we're seeing a lot of defensive tackles that can get to the quarterback, which is what we've already talked about and is what we need.
yeah.
Um, they do have him. Telvin Thomason has to be coming up here pretty soon, I think.
Juju Smith-Schuster. Mm,
No,
I mean, he's okay, but not. We
no,
don't need a
he's
guy
gonna
like
get
him.
overpaid in my opinion.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
we
know.
do, and we don't need a guy like him.
He's Mahomes' number one receiver, and he had to have had well less than 1,000 yards. Even though he had a
Well,
good game in the Super Bowl,
he
but
got hurt. I think he was hurt for a time
for a
too.
little bit, he had some injuries, but still,
Yeah,
I don't even know how many 100-yard games he had, like
yeah.
one or two
I don't
all
love him.
season long. Nah. I think
And
he's
this
gonna ask for too
this
much
team,
money.
the Vikings, don't need a guy like him either. So
No. So
for
Jamel Dean, he's probably
me,
been the Bucs' most consistent quarterback season. Why he doesn't have the physical traits of his teammates, Carlton Davis. He's a young starting quarterback and contract similar to a Davis is whatever. Yeah, man. I
3 years,
Jamel.
45 million.
Let me look up some of the stuff on him. So he had a 77.9 overall grade by PFF, 82.5 run defense, but a 75.6 coverage. In this last year, 2 interceptions, 46 solo tackles. He did not have a sack. He had a forced fumble, but obviously a 75. I'm like, when I look at these cornerbacks, obviously I'm not someone over here who's watching every other team's games. So that's what's good about PFF is you kind of get a good idea of how someone played in coverage or whatever without actually having to watch them. And a guy that has a 75 grade in coverage, we've looked at enough cornerbacks in coverage grades on PFF to see that's a pretty high score actually. Obviously, we need someone in this room. I think Jamel Dean could be a solid choice there. I don't know how we go with that. See, in free agency, I want a defensive tackle. I want one of these top 3 defensive tackles, and then maybe we go, a little bit more mid-tier with the
Yeah.
rest of the positions we
Mhm.
need. And then in the draft, we can, prioritize that more.
Yeah.
But that's kind of how I'm feeling so far.
I'm a big Jacoby Myers guy.
You are, huh?
Yeah.
What do you like about Jacoby Myers? Why do you like him?
Because he played solid with a bad offense with Mac Jones, who had a pretty mediocre season. Oh, he's young. He showed flashes. I don't know. I just kind of like him. A solid wide receiver 2 and perfect number wide receiver 3.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, is he a little bit, with that description, is he a little bit KJ Osborne-esque maybe? Sure.
Yeah.
But again, 26 years old. I don't know. I wouldn't mind him being here.
I would take. I mean, if we ended up signing him, I wouldn't mind. Do I think he's going to be that guy that can be like? I feel like, especially since he's ranked 18, he's going to get paid a decent amount of money. I mean, if Alan Lazard's expected to make 11 million, Jacoby Myers should make quite a bit more than that, I think. And I just feel like he's going to end up being more expensive than his talent. Though, like you said, I don't know if we've seen the best out of him with the offense he was a part of.
I mean,
Could be right.
6'2",
I think you could like take a little gamble on him and it could turn off. But I don't know if I want it to
6'2", 201 pounds, 67 receptions, 804 yards, 6 touchdowns. I mean,
yeah,
man.
Yeah, I'll take that. A few players. So this is a big boy defensive lineman, which we kind of have Harrison Phillips there. I don't think we need that as much. If we're gonna get a defensive lineman, you gotta get a guy that can rush the passer, unless it was like just another body. Especially since we have Harrison Phillips. If we didn't have him, I think Zach Allen could actually be a good choice for us, because I do think even with Harrison Phillips, we could use some more size. But
For sure.
Tony Pollard destroyed us, destroyed Hicks. Obviously, if we're going to get rid of Delvin Cook, I think we definitely stick with either the running backs we have now outside of him, mainly Ty Chandler and Keeney. And then maybe if we drafted another one in the draft later on, I would say for sure. It would be interesting if we did get that guy from Texas, though.
Bijan Robinson.
Yeah, Bijan Robinson. That'd be interesting.
But I don't know. But then you get right back into paying running backs. I mean, Josh Jacobs had a monster season.
Right. He's going to ask for a lot. All these guys are going to get paid. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. There's a lot of free agent running backs. So it'll be interesting to see how that rolls out. Marcus Davenport, edge. He's always been a pretty good player. I actually didn't know Evan Ingram was a free agent this year. I'm assuming they re-signed him. I'd be surprised.
I mean, if they didn't, I'm sure they will.
Yeah, we obviously don't need that. Jordan Poyer. I don't really think we need safety. No, I think Harrison Smith is going to be back.
Jordan Poyer is a dude.
What's that?
But Jordan Poyer is a dude.
Yeah, I know. He is a baller.
And his wife seems nice.
I haven't seen his wife. David Long, linebacker. We do need linebackers, especially if we don't keep Eric Kendricks.
I mean, he might be a guy you bring in, but still draft. Like just to have another, especially if you get rid of Kendricks, just another vet to have on the roster.
Yeah,
which might be a little cheaper.
Right. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if Kendricks, 26 years old, Kendricks might cost more money. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the thing with Kendricks is I understand. I think he needs for sure. I think we need to pay him less, but I have a hard time thinking that we're going to get a linebacker better than him for even the same price. And I think that's where I'm at with Kendricks. Like, I don't know if we do. Like, this guy is 26 years old. Like you said before, his age, he should get paid more money than someone who's like 32, like Kendricks.
But but if he hasn't put up a history of the production, then you don't get paid as much. Like you don't pay them based off their age, obviously.
Right.
It's got to be a production thing.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if I'm convinced. He does have some pretty good grades on here, but I don't know. I just still think Kendricks might still have something in him.
But we got to clear out $24 million worth of cap, so you can't keep everybody and still do that.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
What do they call him? Extremely hot Kirk Cousins.
Is that what they call him, or is that what you call him?
Some people call him hot Kirk Cousins. I've seen it before.
I think Kirk Cousins is better than Jimmy Garoppolo. I think that's what, to me, I think Kirk Cousins is he's the highest end of the type of quarterbacks Jimmy Garoppolo is. And that would be management quarterback, right? That's what it is. I think Kirk Cousins is the high end. He's kind of past that a little bit, but I'm gonna extend Kirk Cousins.
Flash that up every now and then just for fun.
Cameron Sutton. So we're getting to some cornerbacks. I think that would make a little bit more sense for us as far as like the money part goes. Cameron Sutton, I know he's been a really good corner. Obviously, you're getting into guys that haven't done too many things yet, but there's always those. I have a guy in particular that I want to talk about once we get to it, but let's see here. I'm going to look up something on him real quick. So he had a 70.4 coverage grade, 73.6 run. I'm only looking at coverage grades. Just in a defense that Flores is going to run, it just seems like it's all about you need to get guys that can do that press coverage, one-on-one man coverage. So I think those are the guys that you want to kind of look for. Levante David, he's been really good for a really long time. Obviously, age 33. What do you think about him? His play remains elite.
I mean, yeah. I mean, obviously that whole defense kind of took a step backwards this year. That whole team was just really weird. But yeah, I like Levante David. I think he's going to cost too much, but
Dalton Schultz. Obviously we don't need a tight end, but I'm
Right.
surprised he's 29th here. I think the Dallas Cowboys will end up keeping
Yeah,
him.
I would think so.
Devin
Yep,
Thompson.
sign me up for a 328 pounder who can rush the passer. Yes, he can, and that's the thing with him. People just he can rush the passer. He's not elite at it, but it's an option for him.
Right.
And I mean, he will. I mean, that's the thing. He's going to get money. He's going to sign more, and he will get
Yeah,
paid.
yeah. Yo, anyone in the chat, let us know who you like out of all these players that we're going into. I know we saw Payne. I know some people like Hargraves, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see what everybody else would like of these free agents this
Yeah.
season. Obviously, we have a lot to do to figure out exactly how much money we'll have to spend. But Yannick,
Yannick Ngakoue. I mean, we could do some cool jersey swaps with him if he were to, if we were to sign
right.
him.
Go give a third round for him again. Mike Gesicki.
I
He's
mean,
someone that was
we
what's
toyed with
that?
the idea of a trade for Mike Gesicki at the trade deadline before the TJ Hawkinson thing
Yeah.
came to be.
Right. I'm glad we went with the TJ Hawkinson thing. Gesicki is interesting because I feel like he's someone who could be really valuable for another team. Just because, I mean, he's had a pretty good career up until this last year where he wasn't used as much. But I don't know if it was like that could have been a scheme thing for him. But I have a feeling that, or more than his redemption, that gritty was pretty brutal though.
Yeah.
I think JJ gave him like the worst gritty he's seen.
Now DJ Chark is interesting to me. He's not
Yeah.
fast, but he's big. If we brought in DJ Chark, I mean, again, I think you're
Only
looking at more of a
26.
wide receiver 3 than the wide receiver 2 we're looking for, but
Right.
he can stretch. I mean, obviously we saw him stretch the field maybe, against the Minnesota Vikings at one point, but hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, I like DJ Chark. If we were to, I think he's going to be someone he's probably going to still get a decent amount of money. I don't know. I think I'd rather have him at this point than like a Adam Thielen. I mean, 26, super young. He looked really good at points in Jacksonville. We didn't see we personally as Viking fans saw a lot of him in the last game. Other than that, we didn't see a ton of him as a Detroit Lion, but I think he's still someone that could be really good. I think he's going to end up going to a team, especially if it's a good quarterback. And I think he's going to reach past what his rank is on here. I know Byron Murphy is another cornerback that a lot of people talk about. This will probably be our last one. I don't think Tremaine Edmonds could also be interesting at only 25 years old.
Yeah, for sure.
Not a lack of energy. Ben Powers.
Guard, if you're looking for a guard. Dalton Reisner, if you're looking for a guard.
So Rock Ya-Sin, can help out a team that likes to press man coverage. Exactly. He's a guy that does exactly what we need in Flores' defense. But the thing with him, I think he got hurt in the season, but there was people saying that he was having like an all-pro season before he got injured. So I think that's an interesting thing about him and something that's worth looking into a little bit more, especially if you can get a good deal on someone like him.
Miles Sanders, don't need him. Von Bell.
No.
Yeah, then you're kind of getting into
Patrick Peterson,
Melvin Ingram, 34 years old.
This would be an interesting one.
Jadeveon Clowney.
This would be an interesting one.
Yeah.
Jadeveon Clowney. Obviously, he seems like he's a little bit of a headache, but obviously he
could you see?
Did
you see the marvelous Mike White coming in to be a backup for Kirk Cousins? Maybe
I would do that.
I don't know.
I'm cool with more though. I'm cool with more.
Yeah, if he decides to stick around, but yeah, I mean it's interesting. There's a lot of free agents out there, and I guess it all depends on what Vikings decide they want to do there. Yeah, but it's exciting that it's finally getting close to that time, or we'll know that we can break down some of these signings as they kind of happen.
Right. Anyways, so I mean, we just kind of went through the free agents list of what we think the Vikings could go and potentially pick up. I think the Vikings are going to need a defensive tackle. If we keep Tomlinson, I don't think we go after a guy like Hargrave or Payne, but I do think those would be our two best options over Delvin Tomlinson. I think if there's one player we place money on, I think it is defensive tackle position, and then we go into free agent or the draft with that already taken care of. That's what I think on that. But
Yeah, might be one of those situations
Anyways,
where it might be one of those situations where like you float a deal by Delvin Tomlinson, and then in like the legal tampering, you kind of go out and see what it would take to get, a Hargreaves or a Duron Payne, and just kind of checks and balances depending on the other moves they make.
yeah,
Might
yeah,
be a
yeah.
bad idea.
All right, guys. Again, Justin Jefferson rookie card, giving it away. We're gonna do that pretty quick here. Hashtag skol in the comments. That's all you have to do to enter. Yeah, I say let's run this thing.
Sure.
Boom. We only have 3 entries. Anyone else wants to join? I'm gonna run it. We're gonna get someone new here for sure. Let's see what we got here.
Watch, it's gonna be wrap.
Let's get it. Let's get a wrap.
Oh,
It
hey,
is.
it was wrap. What do you know?
I don't know if you're still in here. I'll hit you up anyways. We'll be able to get a hold of you right away. Get that to your address, all that good stuff. Again, Purple Pocket Podcast will be on his channel on Thursday to talk about Kirk Cousins and our thoughts on Kirk Cousins. So go check that out. Go follow him. Go follow Purple and Gold for Days down here and Minnesota Sports Talk. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Go follow Purple and Skol Media on
Purple
Facebook and
Skull
YouTube
Media.
as well. Good stuff there. Yeah. Anything else before we hop off?
I think that's good.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining. And felt that way. You click it.
What's that?
I got it.
Oh, I got what
You do it. You do it.
Justin says rigged. It's not rigged. He's actually won a car before, so.
Yeah. But
all right.
Anyway, thanks for joining. See you guys Wednesday for the Skol Experience. Make sure to tap into that.
Let's go, Vikes.